Hello everyone, this is Keirnoth. I received some requests from some of my YouTube subscribers asking for basically a way on how to get better at Devil May Cry 4. I was initially gonna spend some time just making a combo video or some sort of tutorial video that showed how to do this, but after I did some thinking and also realizing that I have no video editing skills, I figure it's better to just talk to you guys about it through through just regular gameplay. So what I'm going to do with this video tutorial is I'm going to split it up into 4 parts, and I'm still kind of on the fence about either making it just 4 parts in one video or to split it up into 4 separate video releases. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. You're gonna find out by the time I'm finished with the first part. Anyway, the 4 parts that I'm gonna split this video up into is: one, the basics of the game, what kind of things you should know that's universal to both Dante and Nero; two, the basics with Nero, what you should know about each of his weapons, all of his moves, when to use his moves, the properties, and so on and so forth. Three, all the basics with Dante, all all of his molds, all of his weapons, how his weapons change depending on what mold he's in, what kind of moves he gets depending on the mold he's in, and so on and so forth. Lastly, will be a section on strategies to use to fight off monsters. These strategies can be universally applied to both Dante and Nero, and I'll also show some Dante specific and Nero specific strategies. There's a reason why, for example, Nero has an easier time taking down blitzes and getting a triple S ranking compared to Dante, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna split this tutorial up into those 4 sections, and if you have any questions about any of what I talk about in this tutorial, feel free to post a comment or send me a PM. But again, I'm doing my best to answer as many possible questions um, that might come up by making this tutorial in the first place. Okay, basics of the game that you should know. What platform to get this game for and why? Obviously, because I'm a PC gamer, I'm going to say to get it for PC for 2 reasons. One is because you can play this game in a much larger resolution. It'll look a lot nicer. It'll load faster if you have a decent PC because it doesn't have to load from disk and so on and so forth. Next is the reason that I think separates the PC version from the rest of the versions, and that's the ability to play using debug mode. If you've seen some of my other videos, I point to how to get into debug mode, and there's tons of information on the Infernal Works forums about this. There's a universal patch that you guys can use to turn your copy of the game, whether it's the multi 9 or multi 6 copy of the game, into a copy that can use debug mode. And pretty much this debug mode unlocks a lot of potential out of the game that you normally wouldn't have, such as being able to play Dante through Nero stages. They still haven't figured out a way to play Dante stages as Nero, but I'm not gonna sweat the details too much, because pretty much the things you can do with debug mode allows you to basically do all kinds of really stupid, crazy stuff. And also because it's much easier to record using Fraps than video capture equipment. Okay, so after you get your copy of Devil May Cry 4 for PC, remember that the game's only like $7 on Amazon. You can get the game on Steam too if you want a game that's linked to Steam, and so on and so forth. The next thing that you'll want to think about when you get the PC version of the game is to know which how to get a controller working on your PC. You can go the pretty straightforward route and get Xbox 360 controller. I will not recommend that, mainly because the controller is ass. I don't like the triggers in the back. They're not good for games like this where the game doesn't care how hard you push the trigger. It's basically on or off for what happens in this game. So the issue with these triggers is that it's really hard to press the trigger in multiple successions because of the fact that the trigger is designed to react in an analog manner where you can press it just a little bit to signal to the game that there's a like you're pushing the throttle just a little bit for say a racing game, or to press it a lot that tells the game that hey you're jamming on the gas, you want to go faster, and so on and so forth. On top of that, the Xbox 360 controller D-pad is horrible, absolutely horrible for playing Dante. It's made out of this really cheap plastic that makes it feel like it's just not responsive when you try to rapidly switch between different versions, different styles for Dante. So if you really want to learn how to play Dante, don't get the Xbox 360 controller. It's great if you're playing Nero because it doesn't need the D-pad, but other than that, just don't get it. Okay. Now another question I've gotten is so if you have a controller, how do you get to work with your PC? I use this thing called a Super DualBox Pro. It's a Chinese-made PS2 to USB converter. There's tons of these. It's made by a company called Mayflash, and from my experience, no other company out there, American or otherwise, manufacture these. I would rather buy an American-made USB to PS2 converter, but I can't find any big companies out there that do that kind of thing. If you guys know of anything, let me know, because I like to buy something that doesn't feel like it's cheaply made. Regardless, it does work pretty well. The drivers work in both Windows XP and Windows Vista, and additionally Windows 7. You can the buttons for the controller are individually programmable. You can make the square button on your controller actually do something else if you want. You can enable auto fire if you want to, cheese some game that requires mashing. It supports digital and analog inputs. It supports you pressing the analog button on the controller to swap them out. Additionally, you can also it's supposed to work with vibration, but I've never gotten that to work. If you guys can find a game in which that vibration works with this particular converter, please let me know. If you can't find the Super DualBox Pro, there's different versions of it out there. Super Joybox Pro, Dual Joybox Pro. There's a bunch of them made by the same company. Like I said, the drivers are pretty good. They're not spectacular, but I'd say they're actually a step up compared to the drivers or the profiler that comes with the Logitech controllers. And if you can't find a converter like this, then you can always get a Logitech Dual Rumble. It's about $20. I would still suggest getting a PS2, a classic PS2 controller with that converter, mainly because you'll spend an extra maybe 10 to 15 bucks on it, but you're gonna get a lot more gameplay out of this. If you're serious about getting better at this game, get the right controller. It's just like any other game. If you're gonna play a racing game, some people want to get a racing wheel for that. If you used to play flight sims back, and I'm showing my age by saying that I used to play flight sims, you want to get a flight stick for that. If you're playing fighting games, you want to get a fight stick for that. If you want to get better at Devil May Cry 4 and 3, this can be used in 3, get a PS2 controller. Okay. Next, one of the basic things about Devil May Cry 3 and 4 is the fact that pretty much anything you do cancels into anything. And that is one of the main goals of this game, that you get a hang of how things cancel into each other. Because if you just let the animation finish like that, you're going to leave yourself wide open. And the combos don't look as cool because of the fact that they don't look like they're being linked to each other. Because if you go... Okay, so you managed to do a air combo, but you didn't properly learn how to cancel that. So one of the main things you want to do is learn what's cancelable into what. No, something simple like the 3-hitter into Dark Slayer 3-hitter, or doing the kick 13 with Gilgamesh, cancel the lag into a juggle combo, and so on and so forth. You want to learn. This is the part where I encourage you to just get into Bloody Palace, or you don't even have to have the monsters alive. You can just do it with all the monsters dead, and just learn how to cancel all the moves into each other, because that part will be the most important for you when you actually get into combat. So I'm not going to show you what counts into what here, mainly because there's just too many things to show. I'll probably do a few. I'll show you a few examples when I do my Dante and Nero tutorials. But basically, just don't be afraid to screw around. You basically just have to look at certain moves and then try to find out at what point you can cancel out of them. An easy way to figure out when you can cancel out of them, which leads on to my next point, is learning to use the jump. This game, in my opinion, from what I can tell, is the only game series that has invincibility frames when you jump. This allows you to keep attacking something, and if you're about to get hit, you can interrupt your animation into a jump, and right after you interrupt your animation, you can just counter with something else. This allows for the combat in this game to be fluid, because you're not spending too much time trying to dodge things. That's the problem I have with playing games like Ninja Gaiden and Bayonetta. Those two games, from my experience in playing them, it focuses more on the dodging and countering aspect of the game rather than the offensive aspect. In this game, the best defense is a really good offense. If you keep monsters on the floor and also learn how to manipulate the camera, that is what will allow you to basically control entire crowds of monsters. So you'll learn that you're gonna be doing some combos here, and then you'll be going, oh shit, I'm attacking, oh shit, I'm gonna get hit, and then counter. So just learn how to dodge attacks with jumps. I mean, my cardinal rule when playing this game is, when in doubt, jump. If you think you're gonna get hit, jump. If you think something is if you think an attack is gonna hit you and you're not sure if you can dodge it, jump. I mean, you can also roll in this game, but the rolls in this game, I mean, the problem with the roll is it has some recovery time when you roll compared to just jumping out of the way. So I would avoid rolling if you can, because Dante has other options to dodge attacks. The Trickster Dash and the Royal Guard. So I mean, keep that in the back of the mind. Maybe sometimes you might want to roll. I know when you're just starting this game out, that's all you're going to be able to do, because you don't have all the high level moves unlocked. But this tutorial assumes that you pretty much unlocked everything. You don't have to have max life, you don't have to have max DT bar, but you need to have all the moves unlocked, because You're not gonna be able to learn if you don't have access to these moves. When in doubt, you can always go to GameFAQs and download a save file that has everything unlocked. Personally, I would just tough it out and earn it myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. One of the other things about this game is that you need to learn how to manage that double trigger meter on the upper left. I have infinite double trigger enabled, so that's the reason why you don't see my double trigger going down. But the main thing is, let me turn that off. The main thing is learning how to manage this double trigger meter, because when you turn it on, it starts draining a little bit, and then you'll want to know what kind of attacks you can do to build that meter quickly. Like for Dante, for example, he has a couple easy moves that you can do that Nero can do. Well, one of the moves Nero can do is the enemy step. That gains a lot of bar. Also is the Mustang. That gains free bar, and you can just keep spamming if you want. And Royal Guardian. You'll want to learn when you can and cannot use your double trigger bar and how much a particular move is going to do, because then you'll be able to time and plan your combos out. Hey, I can do a 3-hitter with Dante, do a launcher, and then do the real impact, and then maybe go into the double trigger and do the stinger, and so on and so forth. So in this game, managing your meter is very important. It's just like a fighting game, pretty much. You wanna learn to properly manage your meter, because if you just turn on the meter and just don't do anything, or you end up doing something really stupid that doesn't hit them, then you just wasted all your meter. So learn to properly manage that meter. Again, that's something that you'll get through experience, because certain moves will gain you certain amounts of meter, fixed, guaranteed. Countering certain attacks against monsters, or say for example breaking the shields for the Alto and Bianco Angelos will gain you a certain amount of meter, and so on and so forth. You want to learn how much meter you gain for each action you take, because that'll help you create the game plan that you need in order to play Dante correctly. Okay. Now, another thing I want to point out to you is using air hike to extend your combo. This is kind of an beginner thing to learn, because you'll probably have gotten air hike a long time ago, because you won't be able to do certain missions or get certain things in missions without the air hike. Things get a lot harder if you can't double jump. But you want to learn how to use air hike to extend your combos, because then you'll be able to add more hits and do more damage. Now, the air hike will also come out if you screw up a jump cancel, but I'm gonna show you what a jump cancel is with Dante, because I think that's more of an advanced tactic, and this is just a tutorial on how to get a hold of the basics in this game. I know I know you probably want me to get into more specifics, but I'm just trying to give you, like I said, a general picture of how this game works, so that you guys can explore and figure certain things out about the game. Like, hey, I can use the air hike to make my combo longer, or hey, I can jump out while I'm doing this attack so I don't leave myself wide open, so on and so forth. So that's the reason why I'm showing you all these basics, because pretty much I think that's the reason why a lot of casual players get put off by this game, because there's so much to learn in this game. Even I spent a good amount of time just explaining to you the basics of the game, and I haven't even gone into the specifics for either Nero or Dante. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for section 1. If you have any questions, please comment on this video. Don't forget to rate, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you really are stuck, send me a PM. I'll be glad to help you out. Please, no PMs on how do I play this game. That's the whole reason why I made this video. Okay? Anyway, I'll see you guys later, and good luck at Devil May Cry 4. Alright? Bye-bye.